Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Comic Book Talk for April 20th, 2018. I'm Chris Adams, Second Master, joined by
Buff Larkin. Now, before anything else, what date did you give it?
April 20th, 2018.
420, Tekken. So let's just say happy Smoke Your Dope Day to all the dope heads out there. They're gonna have a good old time reading comics, watching movies, smoking up dupes. And you know something? The best part is we're doing this, and I've never touched this stuff. Amazingly enough, the way I act, and I know you've never touched this stuff because you're pure. You're the purest of the pure. So it's very surprising why I would say that. But what the heck? Let's just make everybody happy. Happy 420 day. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, as the kids say nowadays. As the kids say nowadays, Ric Flair drip. Ric Flair drip is what the kids say nowadays.
I don't even.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I know what it is, and I still don't understand. So at least you got the advantage. You don't know. I know, and I still don't understand. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm meeting Ric Flair on June the 2nd in Niagara Falls, and I'm very excited. I finally get to meet the man. Last year was Shatner. This year's Flair. Do that, I can die peacefully. With my picture of William Shatner, and it put me in the casket, and put the picture of William Shatner and me on one side, and the picture of Ric Flair and I on the other, and there you go. I got a question for you.
Right.
This is personal. When you die, Tekken, are you getting buried?
Probably.
Really? Okay. I thought you were the one that you'd face the fire.
What? I've seen
Cremate.
I've seen a bunch of articles where it says it's not very environmentally friendly.
But you give a shit. By that time, it's like whoop-de-doo. Cremation or burying?
Cremation. Well, both. Well, I mean,
It does
like
produce
all the
some
materials for like your casket and stuff are like very they're not very biodegradable too, so that's not also very environmentally sound. But when you're cremated, there's like a bunch of chemicals that are used in the process, and like your
gasoline,
and then
barbecue lighter fluid.
and then and everything that's like produced that goes into the atmosphere is also not very good. So I was thinking probably like either like natural burial where like they don't do anything to you and they just put you in the ground, literally, or some sort of I was looking into some sort of like process where like you can be like turned into like a tree or something, or it's weird. I don't know. It's just like a whole process where they like fuse you with like your cells and like the tree, and it's like you become a tree or something.
So I got two jokes for that now. I got two jokes. Number one, so you want the mob to whack you. Natural death. They come and get you, bury you without a proper burial, just thump, throw you in the basket. And number two, is this just your way of telling people, hey, look at my Woody?
Oh, no.
Look at how much wood I got. Anyways, that's good. So we are here to talk about, for a good chunk of this conversation, we're here to talk about Marvel, because of course next week brings Avengers Infinity, and now the Infinity War Part 1 out, and I have tried my best, my very, very best, to steer away from any of these stupid commercials or little things that you see on social media that gives you a 30-minute clip of the movie, a 45-second clip. I want to go into this not knowing a damn thing, and you know, and all I know is Spider-Man's in it. The Hulk gets shot through Doctor Strange's place, which was in Infinity Gauntlet. So that's an awesome throwback to that. But if there's no Silver Surfer, I'm pissed. That's all I'm saying. The Surfer should have been in it. Why did the Fantastic Four have to screw it? Because the Surfer in this movie would have been fantastic. I absolutely would have loved it. Did you ever read Infinity Gauntlet?
Not all of it.
But at the start, so you know how much the Surfer plays a key role in this, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little sad for me.
I want to try rush through it before the movie comes out, so I can at least have read it to see how it compares to the
Yes, exactly. So what I want to say is that with that coming up next week, and I asked my girls, I said, hey, do you want to go see Infinity War on Thursday? good luck me getting tickets, but that's okay because I leave for Nevada on Friday for my marathon, right? So I want to try to get it and watch it with my family because if I don't watch it with my family, I'm damn well going to see it in Vegas where I'm going to be, right? So I want to try to see it with my family, though. That'd be the nice thing to do. But anyways, you have had, and it's been a good year for Marvel. They've had the #1 movie with Black Panther, and I know you have a little mini review of that one. #2 is that you've also, once you saw the Black Panther, you decided to go and watch all the movies from Phase 1 all the way up to now, and I have to scream at you a little bit for that. But to start off with, how excited are you for Infinity War?
I am super hyped right now. Through the
Okay.
roof.
Now, okay, so I wanna try to you've watched all the movies.
I haven't watched
and-
all of them. I'm on Winter Soldier right now.
Oh, so you're getting close
Yeah.
because it's not too much after that, and you've already seen some of the movies
Well,
since then,
I've seen
right?
all
So-
of them. After I watched Thor: Dark World, I've seen all the ones after that. So.
Oh, okay. So now it's kind of like you've seen them all. Okay, perfect. So this is going to break down into two movies, part 1 and part 2, right?
I thought they canceled that. I thought it was going to be just one thing now.
Really? Well, that ruins my next thing. So they think they can put all this 500 characters into one movie and not break it up into 2 parts. That's going to be interesting. I thought they were going into 2 different directions, or 2 parts. Okay, that's look at my folly on that. See, that's how much I've stayed away from learning about this movie is that I don't know if there's 1 movie or 2. All right, I think it's got to be 2 because everybody's saying it's 2-parters. I tell you what, as you rant on, I'm going to go check this out. Okay, so rant on about how exciting, what you expect to see, who lives, who dies. There you go.
All right. Well, Infinity War, why it's so why everybody is so anticipating it is because it's been 10 years, 18 movies, MCU, end of an arc, major story, character build-up, development, and it's all going to just finally pay off because you've been watching them all, and slowly but surely they've been revealing the Infinity Gems, the characters, who's after them, why are they after them, what they do, and so it's gonna be neat to see finally, how that all goes down, and then the stakes are high, and then can they save the day? Is then like Buff said, is somebody gonna die? Is somebody not gonna die? Or is everybody gonna die? Because as we've seen in which is pretty. I mean, it's pretty cool. If you go back through all the movies, like I've been doing, you see the stone, the first stone that you see when they have the Tesseract, and it has space just projected in front of them, so you can just go wherever. So I guess that's the other thing is just these artifacts of immense power and how will they be used and to what effect in the movie, all that stuff. And then you got the Aether, which is that allows you to just go through different areas and stuff. That's pretty cool. Well, I guess that was because of the confluence, though. So I'm not sure. I think it just gives you a lot of power. And then Guardians, when Ronan had the stone, and he was about to just destroy a planet. So that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Then Loki's staff had a stone in it that lets him control minds.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and then the Eye of Agamotto that Doctor Strange has lets him control time. That's cool.
Yep.
Can someone go back in time and do something? Everybody going to see time travel?
Ha! Yes, very much so.
And then there's the stone in the Vision's head, which we don't know really what it does. So
It's the soul one, isn't it?
yeah.
Because it brings him to life. He's not just a robot. He's actually he's a real boy. Especially with the Scarlet Witch. I'm a real boy. Dong. Anyway, so once a year I gotta put dong in there. Anyway, so they say it's gonna be just Infinity War is all by itself, but there is a movie in 2019. So therefore, they just don't have either it's a continuation of the story and they just want to call it something else, or Avengers 4. What the frick happened? Whatever works. Well, all I'm saying is that there is another movie next year for the Avengers, so I'm pretty sure it's a continuation because this is too big for just one movie. It's just way too big. Because is it gonna be 3 hours? This movie? and then another 3 hours for another one. It has to be.
That's what it should
With
be.
all the characters, absolutely. If you're gonna go, if this is the end of a certain era, and you know what I mean by that. I mean, some of these guys are probably gonna die, and some of these guys aren't coming back. You know, it's their time has run. Their time has run short. So okay, then we just go on to something else. That it's gonna be, make it big, make it as most adventurous as ever, and just have a great old time. And this is just, you sit back and you just watch it, you have some fun, and you go from there. But they're putting a lot of emphasis on Spider-Man. In any of the commercials that I've seen, it's all Spidey. So I wonder if that's meant, or if they're leading up to something. It'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. So anyway, so that's in the Infinity War. I know well, I don't want to go too far into it. I don't want to spoil it until we actually get a chance to see it. So hopefully you and I will have a chance to do this. So are you going to go see it the night of, or the weekend of, or what's your plan?
The week it comes out, I probably won't be able to see it the day because I have to work.
So I heard there's a theater in Wichita that is open like 2:30 in the morning to watch this damn movie.
If that's the case, I'll see it, but I haven't checked to see what time.
Come on, just do it.
So I did that for Last Jedi. That was pretty neat.
Yes, you did, and why not? Go do it again. This is going to be the biggest movie opening ever. I don't want to say it's the last big opening movie ever, but this has been built up for how many years now?
10.
Yes. So therefore, this is going to be the biggest opening ever. It's going to even beat the next Star Wars. This has been so built up and built up well. Storylines weaving in on themselves. This is going to be the last big movie ever.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing is like when you go back and watch all the movies, is like Loki's arc. It's like he is with the Frost Giants, or he tries to align with the Frost Giants, and it blows up in his face, and then he falls into space, and you don't know where he goes. And then in the Avengers, he shows up with the T'Chani or whatever, T'Chani, and then it's like he gets the army from Thanos. But I mean, they imply it; they don't really go into it too well. But then at the after credit scene, they're like, "Well, he failed us," blah blah blah. And so Thor 3, he's. What happens? Oh yeah, he's back in good terms with Thor at the end. So I'm kind of wondering like in this one if Thanos is gonna return to collect on his deal he made. He's like, you owe me one because you came to me and you failed me because obviously in the Avengers they saved the day. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that, how that goes, because that's pretty cool.
Yes.
And then you have the Gamora angle with her and Nebula, and how they know Thanos because they're his children, and then, that they've been talking about him, and then Drax is all like, I want revenge. So yeah, I can't wait.
Exactly. Good. See, and that's how it works. It's just, if you've watched all the movies, this is just going to be one colossal great gift to you in your hands. I'm really truly hoping that. Okay, so with that, let's talk about what I mentioned before with the Black Panther, and I say that was one hell of a great movie. What do you think?
Yes, easily an amazing movie that you need to see because man, it's just so good. Just
Would it be something that you'd buy on Blu-ray?
Oh, for sure. I can't wait.
I like the fact that with Black Panther, it totally separates itself from the Marvel Universe. By the way it looks, by everything that is put in there, it made me feel so happy to watch it because it was just so excellent, and you weren't quite sure what was going to happen. So it was even better. You just went into it, and you just were just shocked and amazed. They're a great villain. And a great last fighting scene. It was a fantastic movie. What did it make you feel like, Tekken?
It made me want to go to Wakanda and be in the future.
Well, can't you turn Wichita into Wakanda? It's close. Wakanda, Wichita is you get at least the W in there to start off with, but that's that's good. But oh yeah, now would you? Okay, so as a dude over there, do you think you could see this being? Do you think it's great as a one shot, or do you think it actually has legs to be a Black Panther 2 and a Black Panther 3?
I think it definitely has legs because to me it felt very much like a like I said, it's very standalone. Like it's not very incorporated into the MCU. Like when you see it, it's just T'Challa doing his thing. It felt very much
Yep.
like the Doctor Strange movie. Like you see Doctor Strange. There's not a lot of other characters in it
No.
that are like in the MCU, and it's just like it just takes place in that universe, and just very well done movie with a character that's a superhero, and like goes from there.
Yep.
And so I could definitely, and then like in this one, like what makes it different is like the supporting cast is so strong. You have all these other characters
Oh,
like Okoye and Shuri, and that like to like explore them and like what they're up to and like what they're like how they hang out like and stuff like that. So that was like really
Yep.
cool.
it had its own life. This movie, it didn't have to depend on Marvel to kind of prop it up and build it up and have people. This is it. It had its own world that we were invited into and watch
Yeah.
and look, and that just it just made it so much more fulfilling. It wasn't. It's not. A lot of thought was put into the script. A lot of thought was put into the presentation. It was something that actually it again it allowed us in to take a look at it and be part of this world. But we didn't know what was going to happen. Everything changes, and because they of course Wakanda shuts itself up from the rest of the world, so therefore it's not surprising that we don't know a lot about this movie about Black Panther because think of us as outside of that world and coming in and taking a look at it and being wowed by it.
Yeah, it's like the status quo at the beginning is they're very isolationist and they stay away and they just want to be in the shadows and not be known about and like keep their secret. So it'll be interesting to see like what the status quo change going forward will be after like Black Panther gives his whole UN spiel at the end of the movie, like how they try to either help or hinder other nations in the world going forward.
And that's a brilliant part too, right? Because then you got to think, with that big revelation, that there's going to be somebody coming along to fight that or take advantage of that,
Yeah,
right?
because
So
of the vibranium, like it makes them a very like it makes them like a threat and an ally. Because like if someone like wants their vibranium, they could just like try to invade them, or if they want like ally themselves with them, but they're just using them for the vibranium. It's like how is T'Challa going to handle that?
exactly. So that's going to be very interesting to see who is the next bad guy. Because to be honest, the Black Panther doesn't have a lot of big name baddies, right? So it'll be interesting to see who they pull out of the Marvel universe to kind of take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, and then
The Vibranium Man. There it is.
vibranium.
All right. Well, look up there. There's a Vibranium Man. So therefore, I'm sure there'll be a guy want to take it, or he'll be the lackey of whoever is the henchman, right? Because they can always create new bad guys. They can absolutely do that. So
And then like in Hickman's New Avengers, it was like a cool like thing that he was always like weighing when he like was like in that story. What he did was like it's like he has to put the people of Wakanda and all his fellow countrymen ahead of him because he's the king. So he has to like weigh his duties as a king versus like what he does personally or as Black Panther when he's making every decision. Because that's what like got
Yep.
him in so much trouble in like New Avengers when all the previous kings were like shunning him when he didn't kill Namor. They're like, you let him live, you're no longer the Black Panther, blah 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 blah, or like we're not going to consult with you anymore, blah blah blah. That was pretty awesome.
and you went, leave me be, ghosts. Leave me be. All right. So that's going to be very. Do you figure that with the big success of Black Panther, do you see him being in the next phase being the biggest star, as in the biggest hero that you'll see among the next phase? That they built him up to be the figurehead for the next phase.
Mm,
With Captain being out, with Iron Man probably being out, with Thor being pretty much on his way out. Though I'm sure I see another Thor movie. I'm sure, but all all the people who are in the phase with the Avenger phase, right? Do you see a new phase coming, but having Black Panther as your lead guy?
I could see that. Like you could have like each main phase or like the first three phases that are behind us since we're in phase 4 now. Like it was basically you had Thor, Hulk, Cap, and so like I guess going forward that'd be cool if they like did like each new like complete arc phase having like different lead Avengers, and if Black Panther was one of them, like I could see that happening. That'd be pretty neat, interesting.
Well, the problem is with all these, like it's been Iron Man being the head phase guy for the last 10 years, right?
Hmm.
And I have a feeling that he's not going to be the guy for the next 10 years because, you got to move on and do other things in your life, right? Unless they throw a lot of money at him and then maybe he'll stick around, but
Yeah, I
but he,
think it'd be cool because like you can see like you can like they could play it from like whatever angle they want to take it in. Like, you do want to have like another science and tech person like Stark, or do you want to have like another or someone that's like in the
well, heck, you have Suri.
in do you want to take it in the what's the cosmic, like the Guardians, or do you want to take it in the spiritual supernatural like Doctor Strange? So it's like you
Yeah.
have like different ways you can go with like different characters.
See, I can see the Guardians of the Galaxy kind of taking over for the Avengers until the next phase, right?
I
Or
think that would work perfectly, just because like with the Infinity Gauntlet, it is just such a cosmic story of like so many cosmic elements that like it ties together, and then like after like the Avengers see like the threats that are off Earth are just as high as the threats that are on Earth, and like we can't always be out there in space to like do stuff about it, so the Guardians can totally do that. The angle for
yeah.
sure.
Well, I think the next Guardians movie is going to deal with Adam Warlock, which is going to be interesting, right? So if he ends up getting a gem out of all this, it'll be fun to see what happens. It'll fun to see because obviously the Earth's not going to blow up, but if he collects all the stones, then if he loses, where do the stones go? And that could lead into the Guardians because of Adam Warlock and all that kind of stuff too, right? So it'll be very interesting to see where they go from there. But I'd like to see if he's not going to be the lead guy, he'll be very close. He'll be like the Captain America to whoever's going to be the, you know what I'm saying? He'll replace Captain as the, co-captain of the Avengers kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Excellent. All right, so you went and you watched a lot of frickin' Marvel movies this year so far. You've gone back and you watched all of them. You now can say you watched every single Avengers movie, including Ant-Man. So good for you. Good for you. So I want you to explain to me why you think Iron Man 2 was one of the best Marvel movies ever.
Did I say that?
You're very hopped up on Iron Man 2.
I was just very surprised by it because I hadn't seen it, and I was like, wow, that was really good. I mean, okay, there's a bunch of things why that movie's really good, but I guess I'll go through them. So I liked the whole dichotomy of the like his suit, like he was wearing the arc reactor, to like keep his illness in check, but then it started to not work, so he was like slowly dying, and he was like, well, how do I figure this out? So that was really cool. It was like a whole, like time runs out mechanic is like, how much time he's got left. So he's like kind of not telling anybody about it and like slowly having to break down about middle breakdown. That was great. And then you had the, let's see, what else happened in that one?
Exactly. I can't. All I can remember is Whiplash, and it's like that's all I can remember is the fight on the racetrack. That's all I can remember from that movie.
And I like the fact that there are other people trying to copy his tech. That was really cool. It's like he's like at most I have like a 10-year or 5 or 10-year lead or something on like my competition before someone's able to actually duplicate this. So it's like I'd like to see that explored actually in another movie that they do is like if somebody actually does like have another suit, like what do they do with it, or like what do they do to shut them down, or do they bring them in to try to like work for Shield or something? That'd be neat.
I think that was a storyline in the comics called the Armor Wars. And I think that's what happened, is that all of a sudden everybody started making armor, and he had to kind of keep it all at bay, and he had to try to fight him so he can kind of... Because not every armor is a good armor, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, the bad guy has armor now. Oops. All right, let's change that. So I'll have to recheck that and make sure I got my story straight. But there was a storyline called Armor Wars through the Iron Man, and it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I will tell you this one. One of my guiltiest pleasures of the Marvel one was actually an Iron Man movie, and it was Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin.
Why do you say guilty pleasure?
Because a lot of people don't really think of they go either way with the Mandarin, because they think, oh, the Mandarin, he should have been the big bad guy, when all of a sudden it turned out he was just an actor.
I thought that's really neat what they did with that.
That was ingenious. But I said, like, and nobody knew. Nobody knew because in the ads they had him
Yeah.
doing his thing, and then all of a sudden you turn around, and he's just being a goofball.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
like,
great.
oh, I
He's like,
loved it so.
I'm just a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, I was watching it, just going, I just that you don't get that in movies anymore. Usually, you get spoiled and all that, but this you see it early enough, and you get to enjoy all of it. Just the pleasure of being surprised. You don't get that a lot in movies, and this one, I was pleasantly surprised. Absolutely. What else was I going to say?
I didn't finish on Iron Man 2. There's like a
Oh,
really,
okay.
there's a really good,
Oh,
there's a really good,
I was.
there's a really good,
I was done Iron Man 2.
there's a really good third act too, where like all the like drone armor starts attacking, and then him and Rhodey have to fight it, and that was like a great scene when they're in the
Oh, yeah.
cherry blossom forest, and it's like just throw down with other armor, and it's great. And he's like, get down, and just like does that spin move with like the lasers through all of them. It's like, oh, and then Rhodey's like, wait, can't you do that again? He's like, nope, it's a one-off. Sorry, can only do it once.
So here's my question, and it's going to put you under the scrutiny of people who listen to this. Which one was your least favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Nobody's here to hear about how great the movies are. They want your idea on what's the worst one is.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad. I would say it's probably between Thor and Iron Man, the first ones, like the first Iron Man and the first Thor, because first Iron Man's kind of bland. It doesn't really do anything. I did enjoy the the whole like homage to like the Mark 1 armor, and how that is kind of like the big bad in the movie, because the other dude like takes it and like makes it weaponized. But it was it just like felt very weak and like very small as a movie compared to like all the other stuff. And Thor is also the same thing. It's like they're just in New Mexico the whole time, nothing really happens, and he gets like banished to Earth, and then has to like save the day, but nothing. I mean, that being said, I think I do like Thor more just because like the cosmic elements in it, and like he explains the whole Yggdrasil and like the Nine Realms. That was pretty cool. I just like I really do like the Thor the movies though, because they like have that weird magic element, but it's so grounded and it feels very, very well developed. So I'd probably say like the first Iron Man, just because it was just, unless you count the Incredible Hulk, because that was just like an movie. It was okay.
No, you can't. That's not part of canon.
I mean, it is. There's the after credit scene. Stark shows up.
Oh, there you go.
They
That's
reference
right.
it in the Avengers. He's like, last time I was in Harlem, I kind of wrecked the city. So that's what happens.
I like that. Actually, I didn't mind that one. I didn't mind that Hulk one. That's for sure.
It wasn't bad. It was okay. That's what
yes, I'll give you that one. I'm going to go with Iron Man 2. I was going to think of Thor 2, but actually there's a lot of stuff in that one that I actually thoroughly enjoyed. I actually enjoyed Iron Man 1 because of how great it was. You go into it not thinking it was going to be great. It was fantastic. Number two, like I said, all I can remember from that movie is the fight on the racetrack. That's pretty much it. At least Thor 2. Thor 1 is you're hopped up on.
Iron Man 3 is the one with the racetrack fight, not Iron Man 2.
No, the racetrack fight is with him fighting Riptide or Whiplash on the track.
Oh, wait, you're right. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Anyways, but trust me, it's the only thing I remember from the movie check, and I'm right with it. Not but the first Thor movie was fantastic in the way they put this godly god in a place like New Mexico. It's the least place you expect it to be, and then they had to fight there. It's fantastic. It was so counterpoint to the whole Thor thing that makes Thor likable. You know, there's a lot of things you could hate about Thor, and that's what you get with the comic books as well, is when he gets too far grandiose, people don't give a flying frick about him. But when you bring him back down to earth and he has to interact with people, that's when people really enjoy those stories. And so this is exactly what they had to do to make Thor likable, is to get him down with the regular people, have a joke and all that, and just have a grand old time.
I did also enjoy the part where he couldn't lift his hammer because he wasn't worthy yet. That was nice.
See, exactly.
It made me remember the part in the Avengers I was reading when like he became unworthy and he couldn't use it, so he had to use the axe.
Yeah. See, Thor 2, then they tried to be grandiose with the whole frost giants and all that. And there's parts of that movie was fantastic, but at the same time, it just again, you're away from the world, from Earth, and it just was this grandiose story that was good, but it had great parts in it, but it just didn't hit on all cylinders, right? So that's why when they did number 3, they went, oh, let's just take Thor and put him in this junk world with gladiators and talking rocks and all that, and it was a fantastic movie. One of my favorites from last year was Thor.
Yeah,
It was just
that is the
Ragnarok.
funniest. That is the funniest of the Thor movies. They're all pretty funny. That one's like the funniest one. Just
Yes.
so funny.
Yes, and I do suggest to you, just for fun, all right, I want you to look up on Netflix. You have Netflix, right?
Yeah.
The movie What We Do in the Shadows, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's got vampires in it, and you'll have a good old laugh. I think that was my homework for you the last time. I think it's ringing a bell for me. I think I told you back then to watch it. But anyways, Thor Ragnarok was fantastic, and it just, again, like I said, it takes Thor, puts him down with the common people, like gladiators and just people, the hard-working people, and just built a story around it that was fantastic. And Jeff Goldblum was nuts as always, so can't go wrong with that either. Did you ever catch the special features on the Blu-ray disc? Did you pick it up on Blu-ray yet?
I picked it up. I haven't watched it yet though.
You gotta watch the Jeff Goldblum. He comes down to Earth and he tries to be a roommate to somebody, and it's just hilarity ensues. Absolutely. You'll enjoy it. Now, escaping our comic book talk for a second. Actually, before I escape it, have you picked up any comics lately?
I think I've got like all the current Saga stuff. I just haven't read it, so I'm still behind. I haven't caught up.
Well, why would you read it? You know,
Because it's great. It's the best comic out. It's great.
Yeah, there you
story,
go.
Great characters. Prince
yeah, and
Robot, can't get enough.
Yeah, and you don't read it, so there you go. That's how great it is. Anyways, what we're talking about is, and for me, my comic has gone downhill, of course, as we all know. But I'm very interested, of course, in the Jeff Johns, the one with the Watchmen sequel.
Doomsday Clock.
Yep,
I wanted to get in that too. I read the preview, like the first couple of pages of the first one, but I just haven't got around to it.
Oh, it's fantastic. And my buddy Paulie, you know Paulie, he gave me a little spoiler what he thought was happening. I'm going, oh, that's the truth. Oh, it's going to be a fantastic read. So far, I picked the first 2 issues, fantastic reads. Of course, now they're bi-monthly, and it's a 12-issue series, so that's 2 years we have to wait around to get the answer to that. It's like, Gary Frank. Anyways, that's good. So, leaving comics, we're going to get into video games for a quick bite. What game is interesting you this year, Tekken?
I guess at the top of the list. Wow. Well, what I know that's coming out this year besides Red Dead, because I don't know.
Yeah.
Red Dead, I was like super hyped for it, but then after they said it's a prequel, I was like, because like story wise, it doesn't really have a lot of new ground there. We already kind of know what's going to happen, I guess. I'd say Detroit Become Human and Spider-Man are probably like the 2 games that's top of my list right
Yes. One of my favorite games for the PS3.
now. PS2.
PS2, thank you, was the Spider-Man one that you could go just zip zap around the city and stop crime and and just follow the storylines as they go along. And of course, I think I've mentioned to you before the great Mysterio level. And just the good punch in the head, and that was it. It was like, well, that's it. And that's, again, surprised you didn't expect it. It's fantastic. So hopefully, I'm hoping that this Spider-Man is just like that one. If it is, it's got my money. Bam, down on the table. Give me that game. That's how much. Have you heard much about that game?
No.
So hopefully that means it's going to be a good one. Now Detroit. Now that it has that's been buzzing up my Facebook feed every day as I scan through. All of a sudden I see a little blurb on Detroit here and there. Blurb on Detroit. It's like, come on, what's going on here? So finally I hit the button. I watched a bit of the video that they're offering. It's like, wow, okay, this is interesting. So why does it interest you, Tekken?
Just because the developers behind Aquatic Dream, like all the stuff that they've made, is just really I really get into like the stuff that they make, and I really enjoy it. Like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, just like and like the mechanics that they use as far as like choice and consequence, and it's a very cinematic game whenever you play them. Their experiences that they make, so it just feels like you're playing a movie, and to my opinion, like no other game. I mean, with the exception of like a Kojima game, like nothing else like really comes close to like that cinematic presentation that you get in a game from those. So it's like you just get very immersed and involved in them, and you're just like, man, I can't stop playing. It feels so
Nice. Now in Heavy Rain, did you make sure you picked the part where she showered all the time?
good. No.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. I know you enough to said, yeah, you're the one. Yeah, shower, sting, winner. Anyways, you're sick. Anyways, so for me, my major game this year, besides Spider-Man, is of course the first in a very, very, very long since PS2 wait for me, Dragon Quest. The game that made me play. It was my very first RPG game I ever played.
Really?
Really?
You never played a Final Fantasy?
No.
Wow.
Dragon Quest. I played it like for months, even a year, just playing that solely, just traveling, cooking, whatever. I need to get the best armor, trying to find the silver slime so I can get the best armor, etc., etc., etc. I loved that game, and I've been waiting for it to come out on an actual game, not on DS, not on anything else, for the longest time. And finally, my prayers have been answered, and it's finally coming in September. And I cannot wait. I'm very, very stoked for this. It's finally a chance for me to relive the glory days of 2008 or whatever it was, that long ago in the PS2 years. So yes, I'm very, very excited. You cannot tell how excited I am, but I'm very excited. That's it. So that's good. What was your best game of last year, Tekken? What did you like? What was your favorite game?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would be Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah, are you still playing Destiny 2?
The only reason I'm playing it now is because there's these ornamentations you can get on your armor, and it's like you can
Oh
only
my
get them
god.
during it's only something you can do during Iron Banner, and it's Iron Banner right now. And because I saw Ready Player One, like where two of the characters just like run around as samurais because they explained the whole Avatar thing, I was like, you know what, they totally get it in this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw the movie, but then I read the audio, or like I listened to the audiobook, and then whatever. But I thought, I was like, you know what, if that's kind of how I am in the game. Like I want to look like a samurai or ninja or something. So like I need this chess piece, so I gotta get like a bunch of grenade melee kills, and I'm trying to do that right now. So I'm playing it right now, but it's like after the next DLC comes out, I'll play through it, but then I'll probably just never play it again because I'm definitely not getting the expansion if there's an expansion this year. So, and if there's any more DLC, I'm not getting more DLC. I'm just over that game. So I just wanted to get my sweet samurai armor and be happy, or ornamentation, and then be happy with it, and then whatever.
What's the big deal on Monster Hunter?
What do you mean? What's the big deal?
No, for everybody who didn't know, and not a lot of people do, I actually went on Twitch and saw you play Monster Hunter. I said, I've always said it's been my motto that Monster Hunter sucks. Way back in the day, and it just drives some people that I know crazy when I say it. But I can't just judge it just by having fun and saying it. So I actually have to watch it. So I watched you play it, and I was a prophet because I knew what I was feeling even before I actually watched you play. So what is the big deal in Monster Hunter?
It's just the gameplay loop is pretty much perfect because you get armor and weapons, and then but the only way to make the armor and weapons is to hunt specific monsters. So if you needed an armor, weapon, or weapon piece, you just go to that monster over and over. But then if you're playing through the story, once you get to a certain point, it splits between high rank and low rank, but you only care about high rank. But the high rank stuff is like harder, or it's more difficult. But as you play, you get better. So it's like you kind of used to your experience from playing so much will eventually help you because you'll be able to like do hard stuff all the time easily, which is where I'm at right now. And so you just keep grinding for the stuff that you need or want, and then once you get all the armor, you don't need to make it again because there's 2 sets of high rank armor. But then there's 15 different weapons, so there's 15 different ways to play the game essentially. And so to make all those weapons, you have to make or get the pieces from the monsters, and like you have to hunt them, and then only certain parts can be. Or once you get to a certain point, only certain parts can be gotten if you break certain parts of the monster, or if you carve off of the monster after you kill them. Because usually you can like capture or kill, but then certain monsters called Elder Dragons, you can only kill them. And so you basically just are stuck grinding for it, but then it's such a good gameplay loop of like, you know, if I need something, I'm going to eventually get it, and I know what I need to do to get it. Unlike some other game we just talked about called Destiny, where it's like, well, I hope I get this thing, and you just keep doing it over and over, and like you're not guaranteed, and the RNG is terrible, and it's just like, ugh, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that was good. Your explanation actually got me interested in checking out the game. So I'll have to go and maybe again check you out on Twitch as you play. So that's good. Do you use Twitch a lot?
Yes.
And just for Monster Hunter, do you do for any other game?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate it because I have like YouTube, so I could like just stream on YouTube, whatever. But then I also can like. I'm so close to getting affiliated on Twitch where it's like, if I could just, you know, I guess eventually I will probably get there if I just start playing through a bunch of random crap and like figure out like what game I have or game I like to play has an audience, and then just like play that a bunch. But essentially I'm just like trying to like, you know, make it there like I made on YouTube, and I can like have 2 different sources of like, okay, well I can play this whenever, I can upload this whenever, and then try to get some money off of it.
See, that's right, baby. All about the dollars. So, are you going to watch Deadpool 2?
No, I didn't see the first one.
What?
Do you remember? I don't like Deadpool.
Oh, come on. Watch Deadpool 1. That and that other movie I told you is what I told you. That's your homework. You might as well watch the first one. Then you can watch the second one. Because who's in the second one? Cable. So, come on. Played by Thanos. So you gotta watch it. Alright? Stop being like that. You gotta watch Deadpool. Alright? Promise me you'll watch Deadpool.
I'm not promising you I'm gonna watch Deadpool.
Promise me. Because I'm coming to America in a week. I can make a trip over to Kansas anytime I want. So you better get over there and watch Deadpool.
Before they unveiled Cable's actor, who did you want it to be?
Ron Perlman.
Oh, me too. I was gonna say Ron Perlman was like my pick for Cable, and he didn't get it.
Oh, so. Absolutely. I don't know why. James, like, I don't understand why you got the same actor for Thanos as you would with Cable. He's a great actor, and I'll give you that much. But you'd want to try to keep it kind of separate. I don't care if one guy's purple and the other guy is his regular color. I'm just saying Ron Perlman is a guy who pretty much looks like Cable with a big cigar, and it's just. But what can you do? What can you do? It'll be an interesting choice.
Yeah, I think there's also like a new Hellboy, and it's not Ron Perlman, so I'm sad.
Yes! Isn't the guy from Stranger Things Hellboy on that one?
I don't know.
I think so. The sheriff that was there. I think he's the new Hellboy. Oh, my goodness. All right, Techie. Well, I have to get ready for work, so sign us off.
All right, well, that was it for Comic Book Talks. Thinking to talk about whatchamacallit. Wow, I can't think. Pacific Rim Uprising or Ready Player One. Ready Player One, while not 100% true to the book, worth watching if you're into video games. I'll say that.
Well, if it was true to the book, how long would the movie have been?
At least 3 hours, probably.
And how long was this one? 2 hours and a bit?
It was like almost 2.5 hours.
Okay, so just another half hour. So I saw that little rant you had there, right? And it's like, I like the book. Well, when is a movie like a book?
Well, I haven't seen the movie and watched the book for a lot of movies I see, so I wouldn't know.
Exactly. So I'm just saying you are now experiencing what we like to call old age. I'm glad you finally got there. Because like this isn't like the book. What the hell? It's like, movies, no, they rot your brain. Just as soon as you say that, then you know you've officially gotten to be an old timer. So there you go. All right. Well, for the great Chris Adams, I am Buff Larkin saying, see you next time, buddy. That's my new saying.
All right, so yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Until you see or hear from us again, we're now signing off.
Thank you.